Okay, so you've got a template for your budget part A, your budget assignment. It's in Excel. Now you might not be used to, it's in spreadsheet. No, it's in Google Sheets. My apologies. I use Excel all the time. I don't often use Google Sheets, but the functions are the same. The reason why I want you to do it in Sheets is because this is maths, and this does maths for you automatically, which makes your life easier. So let me just show you how to set up your budget. Okay. So what we've got here is an item. What we've got here is an item in here. So I'm putting that as the heading. I'm doing my heading columns. Now, in Sheets, you can see that I've got column A, B, C, and so on. And when I click on that, it highlights the whole column. And here I've got rows, numeric. That means that I am now in cell A1, B1, B2. We call them cells, these little boxes, and it's grid referencing exactly like you did in Year 7 Geography. Now, we've got to do 13 weeks, so let's do week 1, week 2. Okay, I'm bored of typing now. So what I'm going to do is highlight those and do something we call a fill. So if I move my cursor across to here, see how it's an arrow and now it becomes a little cross, and click and drag, it comes out automatically. Love it. Out to week 13, bang, and I'm done. Okay, so we've got you starting off with $3,000 and we've got you having a salary of $400. Now, we don't want to type 400 all the time, but if I click and do a fill, it's not going to count it up. That's awesome. So that means we can now do that. It automatically did it. If it had counted up, you would have had to do something slightly different, but we'll talk about that. This is where the maths comes in, total income. Functions, this little sigma sign over here, I click on that, I do sum, and then I highlight the cells I want it to add up, which is those two there. Boom, does it for me automatically. Come in here and then I fill across, bang, done. Easy. Okay, now let's say I want to put a heading in here, so we want to call this income. Now, you can see here that that's in a cell all by itself, but I want it to be in the middle, so I'm going to come across here, highlight all those cells. I'm going to merge them. Okay, so we're merging those cells. So you can see now it's all one cell instead of many cells. Then I'm going to put it in the middle. So income's moved itself to the middle. And now I'm going to make it a pretty color. There we go. Now I've got income. Next, we've actually got our fixed expenses. So same again. I'm going to highlight all that. I'm going to go to merge. I'm going to center it. And I'm going to make it a slightly different pretty color. Easy. Now, what we want to do is we want to do a subtotal here. And it's called a subtotal because it's not your full total. So subtotal because it's our fixed expenses. Now we're going to go back to our sigma sign and do a sum. And we're going to do all of those. Now you might want to add some in because you might have different fixed expenses depending on what you come up with. And again, we're going to fill that all the way across. All right. These are our variable expenses, variable. So you know how to do the headings now. I'm not going to do it. And then what we do here is we do a subtotal. Oh, I can't spell. Again, sigma, sum, and I'm going to, oops, nope, I'm going to highlight from then down. Now you can see here it's got, when we go up here, it's got the colon. That means it's summing all the cells between 14 and 21. Now if I come over here, you can see that it automatically, when I did the fill, moved it to the next column. All right, so it automatically does all your formulas for you. It's brilliant. Now total expenses, this is a bit different because now we've got to add these two together. So I don't want to use the sum function over here. I'm going to do it by hand. So I'm going to type an equal sign and then I'm going to click in that cell. So B12 plus B22 equals. Now let's say I had $200 a week rent, it automatically changes it down here. Then let's say I've got $50 a week for food, it automatically adds it up. But just so you can see the 200 is there and the 50 is there, and then that brings the 250 there. Now my weekly surplus and deficit, that means, well, what's my weekly income? Because remember, this is savings. So this is our weekly income. So now I'm going to do equals our weekly income minus our expenses. So that's what I've got left over. Okay, so our ongoing savings and debt then becomes equals our initial starting position plus our surplus or deficit. So we've actually gone up this week. Now, for the next week, we can't do that because we would lose the $3,000 because it's just going to be our weekly, right? So what we need to do is we need to do equals the previous position plus whatever our weekly deficit is. So the formula becomes slightly different. So let's say we had, so we've got our rent again. Oh, I haven't done the fill across. Sorry. So that's now, we're still gaining money because we're $200 ahead. So we made $200 this week, which means we're ahead on the next one. So that means that this formula here has to be equals that plus that, and then we can fill it across. And you can see it increasing each time. Okay, that's how you do your budget. Now, in relation to how these are divided up, I don't mind if you do it in household expenses. So I've done fixed and variable, but you can do household expenses, personal expenses. You can put it out any way you like. I just wanted to show you some tricks on how to put it together and how to use Excel. A spreadsheet. Okay, thanks.